So, hi everyone, my name is Kavya and I'm a senior in material science and engineering, and I'll give you guys a brief background about the major, the kind of things that we do, and all sorts of things with that. So in MSc, we learn to come up with new materials and how to improve materials for a rapidly changing society. Some of the main concepts that we study are properties and structures of material and how to best apply them to different situations. So when you're in this major as a student, many of your classes are going to focus on structure, properties, design, life cycle assessment, manufacturing, and the application of all different types of materials. Typically, students will focus and specialize on a certain type of material, and they fall under the categories of ceramics, metals, polymers, electronic materials, and photonic materials. Some students even go into subsets of these material categories. For example, I'm interested in polymers, and I want to study more on the green engineering side of polymers and the biomaterial side of it. And also, students sometimes go into a combination of these two materials, which is a composite. So there's a lot of different ways to specialize the curriculum that you do in MSc and tailor it to what you're specifically interested in. The department is very hands-on, and it has a lot of emphasis on going into the lab and actually applying the material that you learn in class. I think since my sophomore year of joining the program, I've been in the lab every single semester, and I think that has been a really great way to get more out of your education. In the bottom left picture is the VT Foundry. Virginia Tech, the MSc department, has a really great metals program. So if you're interested with designing, casting, creating different metals, this is a really great facility to get involved in. Students in this major are basically employed into almost every industry you can think of. Materials is applied everywhere. Every object needs some type of material to be made. So graduates are employed in industries like aerospace, automotive, chemical, cosmetic, electronics, energy, oil, and basic manufacturing things. So it's a really great way to get involved in a lot of different industries if you're thinking about that. Also, students who are interested in graduate school have an opportunity within the MSc department. We offer a 5-year master program. So basically, your senior year as an undergraduate, you can start your master's program, which is great because you only need one extra year and then you have another degree. Fun facts about MSc: in the top right corner, the picture there features Cedric Hume. He was a running back for the football team in 2007, and he broke his arm that year. And he wasn't allowed to wear a typical cast to the ACC championships because the cast that he was originally going to use was deemed a weapon. So he and the football team actually came to the MSc department, and they helped him design a soft and non-weapon cast that was strong enough to protect his arm. And he later then helped win the ACC championship. So one kind of fun thing MSc people in the department like to say is that we helped win the ACC championship that year. So fun fact about the department. On the other pictures, there are featuring the labs that we have for students to engage with research and just getting involved with the different activities in the department. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can get involved in MSc. If you guys have any questions, please just let me know in the chat and I'd be happy to answer them. I can answer questions generally for engineering and also specifically for the material science and engineering department.
What is the best preparation you can take outside of classes?
So this is a really good question. I know that engineering in general is very difficult and classes can be difficult. One thing that I would recommend and one thing I found that was helpful for me was making sure to take breaks when needed and making sure to relax even in the most stressful times, and also taking advantage of the career and study habits, webinars and meetings that they happen all around campus. They give you good study habits. It helps you really get a feel for what you need to do to study for a class.
Does this major have to do with any types of mathematics or problem-solving research topics?
Yeah, so we do a lot of more problem-solving research topics. We're a lot very application-heavy major, and we do stuff with mathematics. We have to take differential equations, multivariable, and linear algebra to be in this major.
Is it hard to transfer into this major if you're coming from a different major like business?
I don't know much about that, but there are students who do transfer in, typically from other engineering departments. I think the only issue we may have when transferring from business is that you'll have to take some extra classes, but I'm sure it can be done.
How do you really decide what you want to major in?
Another interesting question. Coming to information sessions like these help you get a general idea of what the major is about, and I think that's very helpful. Another way to kind of get a feel for what each major is going and talking to individuals in that department. Some of the advisors for the department can give you directions into like what the whole major is about, and that can help a lot.
Do you, Nancy asks, when will the new building be ready? I think it's supposed to be the end of next fall, right?
I don't know. I'll be graduated by then. That's all I know.
You're gonna have to come back and check it out.
Definitely.
It looks really exciting. But
Yeah.
I think it is supposed to be by next fall. How big is the major and how many students are there? Do you know?
So it's like a middle-sized major. I think it grows every year, but I know my class is around 240, 250 students. Sorry, in the entire major, not just my class. Yeah, it's small kind of, but I think that helps because all the students know the professors really well and it works well that way.
Did you get an internship as a freshman? And if so, how did you find that internship?
Yeah, I did. I've been working with the Lawrence Livermore National Lab in California for the past couple of years. I got this internship through networking and knowing people. That really helped me um, get a feel for what the whole thing was about and help me get the job.
Do you know what minors pair well with this major?
Yeah, so in MSc, a lot of the classes involve life cycle assessment and understanding the green engineering aspects. So a lot of students will actually have a green engineering minor, including myself, and that really pairs well with the curriculum in MSc. A lot of students also take computer science as a minor if they're interested in more the computational side of MSc, and a lot of people take different minors. I'm in creative writing, so you can kind of do anything with that.
How does the College of Engineering prepare you for careers in terms of academics?
Yeah, so I think it's really helpful when they have the career fairs and there are different opportunities, like different seminars that the College of Engineering hosts on stuff like resume building, and just generally helping. And a lot of the times, each engineering department will have more resources for its students.
Do you feel like this major has good job placement?
Yeah, so students in MSc kind of end up in a whole lot of places. They end up at 3M, GE, a lot of consulting companies, a lot of aerospace companies. Some people go to Tesla and work in cars. So there's a pretty good job placement for all different types of specializations within MSc.
What type of person would you recommend this program for?
Yeah, someone who enjoys being hands-on and going and trying out new things because MSc is um, it's a major where they encourage you to be hands-on with the material. Like you'll be in labs a lot of the times and actually learn how to cast a metal or make your own ceramic pot or something like that. So someone who likes doing those things will enjoy this major a lot.
How competitive or difficult is MSc compared to other engineering majors?
So I can speak from some experience, I guess, in a little bit. Since MSc is less of the type of, say, physics that we study in MSc is less to do with like mechanics and more on the atomic level. So I guess in that terms, the difficulty, MSc is a little bit easier. but we do a lot more with science and chemistry than other majors will. So it kind of depends on which subject you find more difficult. But MSc is typically more chemistry and the atomic side of physics heavy.
Do you find that undergraduates have many research opportunities within MSc?
Yeah, a lot of professors at MSc actually encourage and like students to do research. I've been involved with undergrad research since my freshman year in MSc, so there's a lot of opportunities.
Javier, do you want to touch on a little more about your internship that you've been doing, kind of like what your typical day was like as on your internship?
Sure. The lab that I worked at is a government facility, so a lot of the activities are very connected to things that the Department of Energy wants to get done. I worked at the laser facility, so I did a lot of stuff with materials used in lasers and that kind of stuff. So a lot of stuff with photonic materials. And it was very lab heavy. We were in the lab a lot, kind of testing things out, and there was a lot of software use as well.
What kind of work is done in the area of composite?
So I'm not super familiar with composites since the main thing that I focus on is polymers, but a lot of composites are used in the aerospace industry, specifically with materials under extreme heat conditions or extreme conditions. So there's a lot of work and research opportunities in that area.
What class was the hardest?
I think thermodynamics of materials was probably the hardest for me. But thermo is kind of difficult for anyone in any major. So
Thank you, Kavya.